Hi, my name's Scott Frankel. Welcome to Understanding My Credit Report. Now, with all this talk about credit reports and credit scores, do you really understand how they work, how to read them, or what they even mean? Are you going to be shocked now when I tell you these so-called credit scores you see online or on TV, some of you are paying monthly for, are not your real credit scores? Read the fine print, the real small fine print. It'll tell you these scores are for educational purposes only. Another thing you need to be warned about that many people don't realize, do you have a debit card? If you do, it's a MasterCard or Visa, it appears on your credit report. And very often with account information, you would rather be kept private. Now, this video is to help people with good credit scores obtain excellent credit scores, aiming at a level of 750 or higher. Understanding how your credit report works, how to read it, but most important, what affects the credit scores the most. See, the credit scores are not called just credit scores at the credit bureaus and lenders. They're called credit risk scores. And it's that risk most people do not understand that correlates to the limits and the balances that equal your credit risk. Credit history plus credit risk equals credit scores. I was going to give you this demonstration in graphics, and after looking at it, I realized that the best way to give you this demonstration is show you the same way I show in people's homes, so you can also show your relatives or your friends is the best way to understand credit and credit risk levels. We're going to use this empty glass as a great example to help you understand how credit risk and credit limits really work. Now, suppose this glass is a new credit card with a $10,000 limit, and of course there's no balance when you start. Now, you start charging on your credit card a little bit at a time, and once you've reached right about here, the halfway point, you can see you've only used half your available credit and you still have half remaining, so you're still a good risk. But what happens if you keep charging on the card a little more at a time? Just like this glass you see, it's a risk of spilling over. As you see, you've used most of your credit, and now you're a credit risk because you've used most of your available limit of your credit. Let me give you another example, and it's a great analogy to help you understand how this really works. Okay, now let's pretend you have a twin brother or sister. This is your credit and your credit profile. You're not near the limit and you have much available credit left. Now this is your brother or your twin's profile. As you can see, they're maxed and they're near the limit. So who do you think has the higher credit score? You, of course. You have much more available credit and you're much less of a risk than he is. Can you see that in this example? So remember, in all circumstances, your glass should never be more than half full. And that leads to the next place this could hurt that we never thought of, including me. Instant credit and same as cash. Now, these instant credit and same as cash deals are great on appliances, furniture, and electronics. But the same glass of water rule still applies. And you need to be very careful when you apply for these loans, or it can cost you dramatically in your credit scores unless you do apply for the loan properly. Now, I made a similar mistake several years ago when I bought a heat pump and air conditioning and had some other work done at the same time. So now let's look at my credit report. You can see I took a $6,000 loan on a $6,000 line, and after 5 months it cost me 20 plus points. You see, I was distracted and not thinking at the time, and it cost me 20 points in 5 months and dropped me under 800 scores for the first time in years. How? Why? Because I took a full limit or a full glass of water and did not pay it off after 1 month. It went down 4 or 5 points. A second month, 4 or 5 points. A third month, 4 or 5 points. And after 5 months of having a full glass of water at its limit and not paying it off, it dropped my score about 20 points. Now, what I should have done was applied for a larger limit or a fuller glass of water, and my glass would have been half full and my risk level would have not increased. So when you apply for a same as cash loan and you plan to take more than 30 days to pay it off, apply for double the amount and you will keep your risk level low. Now, you can call your credit card company and ask them to raise your limit or raise your glass of water, therefore lowering your risk.